What is up, everyone? Welcome to Link Up. I'm your host, DJSymphix, but you can call me DJ. And today I'm linking up with three of my bestest friends in the whole wide world. First and foremost, we have Mayasma.
How's it going? I'm recovering. We just had our monthly invaded by Vic Timo and Be Famous. Very fun tournament, but the grind continues.
Grind continues indeed. We're also linking up with my friend, the Virgil to my Dante. It is Kuomoko. What up, Kubo?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Kuomoko here on a beautiful Sunday. Haven't been here in quite some time, but of course, with the comment house in the background, I am absolutely big chillin'. As you can see, got the hoodie on. I'm looking like I'm in Darth Vader mode, so we're just gonna be having a good time.
We're gonna have a great time. And the Doc is in the house. He's much as a Doc as I am a DJ. It is Toma Doc.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I actually was a DJ at one point too, so been doing the radio stuff, but
More
it's
than
all
me.
good and everything. And thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And here at Link Up, we like to break the ice and ask our guests what fighting game move they're feeling like today. So, firstly, Maya, what fighting game move are you feeling like this Sunday?
Usually I have to look up my, a move list or think about it, but this one just came naturally to mind. I was at Combo Breaker, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but I am Anna's up forward 1+2 overhead toss my Victrix stick out the window and off the stage as we move towards an Aazendo case. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Did a reenactment for the people right there.
Reenactment.
But that's it. Kubo, what fighting game move are you feeling like today?
You know, as someone that has too many goddamn fighting games to play, I'm just feeling like a simple short. When you put it in A groove on CVS2 and just do nothing but show loops. I just feel like looping somebody over and over and over and seeing that damage rise up.
Okay. I see.
So
I see what type
the
of timing you're on.
The dopamine just gets triggered. I like good execution. Even though it's simple.
Neuron activation. We're just
Exactly.
And Toba, what fighting game move are you feeling like today?
Well, it's going to be more of a combination of a move because it makes no sense whatsoever. Because that's how I felt this whole week since Combo Breaker and post Combo Breaker is basically doing a taunt snake edge. Like it just doesn't. There's no reason. Like it makes no sense whatsoever. Like what are you doing and everything? And that's how I felt running through Combo Breaker with my team. But we survived and got through it. So taunt snake edge.
Wow, that taunt snake edge. That is menace activity. I think that's a war crime.
That's something I would do.
That's definitely a war crime in several countries. Taunt snake edge. All right, yeah. You know what? I that's real. As for me, I think I'm on the Kazuya grind. So this is one of my favorite moves to do. Demon Scissors. 4-3. AKA the flop. I love the flop. Hits mid. Great round closer.
Don't believe him. Don't believe him. He likes to do Fushiko Wave and Patricide Fist and Hell Sweep.
Nah. You gotta do the flop. You gotta do Demon Scissors.
He's never done Hell Sweep or never done flop against me at all. He's done Hell Sweep, but not flop.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
He's lying. You've never done such a thing.
Yes, I have.
Anyway,
unlock the vault. We got tapes.
Of the vault.
The vault. Unlock the vault. We got tapes. We got tapes. We caught you on 4K getting hit by the flop. I don't know. It's not gonna hold up in court.
My lawyer has advised me.
There are no witnesses. There are no witnesses.
My lawyer has advised me not to say any more on the matter.
Okay. We'll get the information out of you. But no, it's a great day. Great to start up a Sunday. Happy Pride, everyone in the chat, everyone here. Happy Pride.
It's our time.
It's our time. It's great. We just had AAPI month. We're moving into Pride. I just it's just one celebration after the other. I'm happy. I'm happy. But yeah, we got a lot going on. We haven't had Link Up in a few weeks, so we got a lot to catch up on. We had a lot this week in terms of our events, Tekken 8, City of the Wolves. We didn't have City of the Wolves, but since people were coming back from Combo Breaker, but we had City of the Wolves last week.
Yep.
and also the Breakout Academy yesterday. Some great stuff. Some great stuff.
Can't wait to hear about that. I was not able to see it, but I saw Servbot and everyone rambling and Basie Grace stepping up big. So we'll get into that a little bit. But I do want to talk about a bunch of different things about Combo Breaker. And I feel like there's a bunch of different topics to talk about. So I wanted to start with like an overhead view if I could.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, you know, do you want to save it to when we get to the Combo Breaker part, or do you want to just open it up here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Oh. Wait. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So Combo Breaker is one of the big majors in our scene, and there's a lot of games we're going to discuss, but I just wanted to say, in general, Combo Breaker, out of my past 2 or 3 years of going to a lot of tournaments, has been hands down the new standard and bar my favorite. And the one thing I wanted to point out is that we're going to talk a lot about Tekken and a lot of the main games, Street Fighter. I want to rant about Marvel because that game absolutely shined once again. But if you go to any tournament, you know, Frosty kind of represents your 2D games a lot. But what really doesn't get spoken about Combo Breaker is that the esoteric, the small games, the mystery game tournament, the Neo Turf Masters being one of the hypest tournaments of the year. If you play any weird game, if you play any game that you can only get 6 people at your local to play, Combo Breaker is the tournament for you. Every game is well represented.
Absolutely.
You're not wrong about that at all.
I've been seeing so many things, my whole Twitter feed throughout that weekend. I got so much FOMO. I was like, damn, like that's. Oh, it sounds like such a great time.
Don't worry about the FOMO though, like DJ. It's because there's always next year. Outside of like mainly one thing that happened on Saturday night at the venue. Outside of that, like, don't worry about the FOMO. Like it's there every year. That's how it always is. It's one of those things where you're in that big hall, and then when you're in that big hall, there's like what? Maya, correct me. I think 10 stages total, 5 on each side.
Damn.
And you can just like see everything, and then you go across the hall, and then next thing you know, you're in the BYOC area with another 3 stages worth of like old classic games. That's where they did Third Strike. That's where they did Hyper Turbo or Street Fighter 2 Turbo and all that. All those old games, and I think VSAT was there too. And then not. On top of that, in the mystery booth, there were even 2 more stages upstairs. So it's like there's that plus another like 24-hour arcade. So this is like one of those like where it's a big celebration of fighting games, but like more of like a true celebration of fighting games. Unlike I do like Evo, but to me Evo has turned into sort of the Comic Con. Like no shade, because that means Evo is really very popular.
It's popular.
But it's an expo industry standard, and of course the summit of the best.
Yes, exactly. But like I think you'd agree, Maya, like back in our days, without aging ourselves, like Comic-Con was kind of just like the small-ish, but like, you know, niche thing. But then once it turned into mainstream, like that's it kind of was like it kind of lost its grassroots. Combo Breaker did not, and hopefully it will stay like that. And Evo can sort of take over that, like, yeah, this is where the commercial people are. Like, I am hoping that's how Combo Breaker will, continue.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I hope to go next year, and I just want to go. Even if I don't get on a commentary or anything, I just want to go.
You and me,
Combo Breaker.
You and me, DJ, we got to get ourselves a little carpool all the way up there, bro. See, this is what
yeah,
we're
bro,
about
I'll
here,
drive. Let me
I
drive.
want to go so bad.
We making it. We making
I
it.
told you, man. I got over reliable.
Word to the wise. The only thing that matters is, when hotels drop, everyone in Breakout puts a bid in, and if one of us hits the lottery, we'll have a breakout room next year.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, as someone who's been trying to get a hotel for the past 4 years running, I have not had luck, but I believe Breakout has success.
Oh yeah, we
gonna break out in the hotel.
Oh, it's either breakout at the hotel or you get your own house. Like my team we had our own house and Airbnb like 10 minutes away. You can be degenerate that way. But if you do get the hotel, it's great because that hotel lobby literally turns into like a 4th venue, like a 4th place because people bring BYOCs and they have the hotel bar that's there.
Yeah.
And sometimes that bar closes and people bring in drinks. And
One
they
of the
just
best
start-
photos I have from the entire weekend is they have this S couch, which kind of like
Oh,
runs people back to each other.
Yep.
And I didn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
look at it till we took a photo, but it was like Anakin, me, JDCR, Edge, me,
Jesus.
Mr. Taxi, Carno, and and Static. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no one even noticed anyone was anyone. You go to any tournament like that, you would be fawning. You'd be like, oh my God. And we're just elbow to elbow on a
Mhm.
crappy couch, just bumping, playing games. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Can I
That's
just
that's
say for like
That-
a
yeah.
second too that being on the hotel venue is such a like I don't know, it's such a different experience. That was my first hotel venue was at Frosty's, and let me tell you, the amount of times I kept walking in and out of my hotel room, to just go play some games was really funny.
yeah.
It was
I just
lovely.
kept leaving. I was like,
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna go play some games and walk around the artist alley. I'll be right back.
And as
Doesn't
someone,
come back for
as someone who's
2
worked
hours.
at karaoke bars, I can tell you that is the only time I've been happy to hear karaoke in the background.
Yeah,
Um,
the only time.
Yeah, that's so sick. That's so sick. But hopefully, you guys, even though I have FOMO about Combo Breaker, hopefully you guys have FOMO about some of the breakout events that we had this week as we transition to
Yeah,
our
I
weekly reset. Let's talk about all the events that we had for breakout, our online events. We had TEKKEN 8. Of course, we had the Academy, plus our weekly Wednesday bracket, as well as GGST on Friday. So, let's get into it. Let's get into it. As right here, man, this was a great. Me and Maya were casting this. It was so sick to watch. Jake, man, just absolutely put on a show. I mean, Joe Crush was there too, but the rolling Death Cradle in
Cradle.
grand finals.
My man
That's
really
something you
went
don't see
for
every
it.
day.
I gotta
Oh.
say, landing that chain throw with King, it's like watching you pick apart a Hershey's bar. Like you just pick one and then you crack open that little one bar, that little piece, and then you crack open another one. You crack off that next piece, and then it just goes downhill from there.
Hey, I'm going to give away some competitive intel secrets from one of my favorite people all time, Pepper Beef himself. But hey, sometimes when you're at the end of a tournament, end of a match, end of an important situation,
Oh my
you
God,
know
punish.
that your opponent's going to put you into a mix. They're going to put you in guess for your life. And all I can give you advice for is cover the highlight reel option. Don't try and play cheeky. Just make sure you take a guess and you take a block that will keep you from being put on a highlight reel or a combo video. And that is advice that has saved me from a lot of launches and a lot of bad situations. But with the RDC not getting covered, what do you do?
Yeah.
And now you got to tell me what's going on with Strive now that Unika's out.
Oh man, a whole lot's going on with Strive. Unika definitely has herself an appearance, I would say. New character, didn't get a chance to really look at her, but as you can see here, Daniel Mazza has been picking up on this character, and I guess they feel hella comfortable. She looks really sick though. Very big weapon, very adorable character design wise, and I'm honestly looking forward to seeing how this turns out, because honestly, in the game that's volatile as Strive is, it's gonna be a lot to deal with. So Unica's definitely gonna bring something different to the table. But then again,
Yeah,
Danny
Danny-
exists.
I was gonna say Danny's like a master at this game. Like I've seen him play on a lot of the onlines as well, and just the fact that he's already got the Unica down, and it was day 2, like day 1, day 2 of like having
Around,
her.
around that.
Yeah, so it was just the fact that he was in grand finals to get there already that just tells you how much of a master he is at that game.
Yeah, not to mention Danny, honestly has his own ideas of playing. So whenever he's playing his game, look at that wrist gauge building up, bro. He just does not mind holding defense, or as long as he could. But at least in this matchup, right?
And people say Tekken is very knowledge check heavy and everything, but I mean, in order to be this top level Guilty Gear player, you have to know what your answer is to every single setup on 3 different planes of existence.
You do. Also, is that the Jack in the Box man from
Yes!
Nukatron?
Let's go,
Let's go.
Yeah,
That's actually
Nukatron
sick.
and Grey Crow, brought in, always playing some, casuals here in the breakout server. And Academy staples, they've been playing in the Academy a lot. They've been grinding. Grey Crow on the Jin. I always complain about their combo usage, but whatever works for them works for them. But we always discuss Jin. But Nukatron, really, really good Hwarang, has a lot of potential, and it was right here in this grand finals that we get to see that. dodging the Zen 1 Plus 2 into
Wow.
the launch right there. And watch this movie because you're my teammate, and you know, you just gotta hold this, hold this win.
So we've been doing a lot of breakout events with our academy. We've been mixing them up and adding a few themes. I would love to see a graduate class versus some of our ambassadors. I'd just love to show off maybe some of our people who have already made it to Tekken King and are still growing. And of course, bring people in who are still at that level.
Yeah, you know, that sounds kind of interesting. I'm gonna lie.
I mean, that'll give me an excuse to put my scrub bum up there, I guess. I'm already a Tekken King, and I can't. I'm like, I don't qualify for these, so it's all right. It's all good.
Look, it's gonna be a crew battle. You get like what, 5 or 7 ambassadors, 5 or 7 like graduates, and you just like have them pick each other. Like, all right, you go first. Who's the
And
leader?
Peeling being up there again with the champion circle, still with the 5 wins.
But here's the big thing. You know, King Ray was traveling to BAM and was out of the country, is now making their way back. Cheese Yoni has been hungry, says they've been feeling the competitive vibe a lot more than lately. Jake Man, getting your first W, hungry, could want to put themselves on there. RV Chris, a mainstay, and as I was tweeting to our ambassadors earlier, it was a beautiful tweet from Landon. Landon told everyone, get ready, I'm coming. I can't play TNS on Tuesday, but I will be there on Breakout Wednesday night. So this Wednesday is going to be crazy. There's so many people eyeing that specifically, including Joe Crush too, who isn't even on this list, but is always a threat in your bracket.
I gotta be there for that one. I'm looking forward for that.
For some
It's
reason,
gonna
though,
be a
right?
brawl.
Yeah, for some reason though, like I want Jack in the Box tacos now. I don't know, like
The
that
$1
new-
They're not that
Are they even
bad.
$1 anymore? Or like
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I feel like they got rid of that because I don't even see it when I go to my Jack in the Box no more. So I'm not too sure. But when I go back, I will keep you informed.
But I'll just say Nukatron's like custom just made me like, I was like, and anytime when I see any of the customs, and shout out to Maya with her customs that she posts on Twitter and everything.
yeah.
Right behind us.
So it's just like, like sometimes I just, there's that one. You know, like that's what makes these breakout tournaments and a lot of these online tournaments memorable for me is the gameplay's great, but sometimes you just see that like fire custom or Jack crappy custom, and you're just wondering like questionable like what's going on. That to me is always what makes it more memorable for me, outside of the gameplay. So
it's been really sick. Oh, sorry, Mike.
When I see Jack, I just think Alan from Invincible because that's still my favorite custom Joe ever made.
Yeah, Joe made that. So sick. He has so many great customs. Jack has so many good like customization options. And I've seen.
It's because he's
some,
simple.
My friend made the Crimson Chin from Fairly Odd Parents. I was like, whoa. That's
I feel like it's because Jack is just super duper simple to work with. Like you don't have a whole lot of like things to acquire with Jack. Just put this on and put that on.
Well, that's why it's a challenge. I've done a few of like Twitter posts of like, hey, work with this. Or we've also done Tekken Photo Club with Hatsubitsu, which was really cool to do a thematic take of one photo in this way. But there's some challenges, for example, like the bears. The bears don't work with normal customization sets. So anytime I see a really good bear custom, that is like fire.
like, yeah, absolutely. And Serve, shout out to our ambassador, Servebot, King Servebot, also has some great panda customs. You know, really sticking to some certain themes. It's really sick. But of course, you know, we to circle right back to Combo Breaker as we head into the Combo Breakout. We had so many people go. Shout out to, you know, we have Maya and Toma here who are at Combo Breaker. Also, shout out to Graham who took some amazing photos. Yui Stacks was there.
Yeah.
Farah Film, shout out to our main Tekken, one of our main Tekken TOs, Farah, for, you know, attending CB 2025. It was a cool thing to see you guys out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of stories and a lot of timelines, and I know I've got a few. I'm just going to say one thing, and I want to hear Toma's experience. I want to hear about what it was like through your lens. But shout out Ui, because honestly, on Sunday, and you're already laughing because you know if anybody was walking around the Tekken setups, and I say this to everyone, you know, there's, oh my God, there's Mogold, I want to play him. Oh my God, there's Mr. Taxi, I want to play him. And then there was the loudest setup in the corner where Black
Yes.
Pharaoh was taking
Yes.
open money matches on the same level as Mac and other legends in our scene who just take people's money and are loud as heck about it. And you know, Uwe and Black Pharaoh were a great team, and I copped in and we just started popping off and making noise. We just wanted people to be loud and have fun. But then it got intense. You know, people like Frayden came over, and that was suddenly he stopped talking. He was only in the focus mode. The shit talking stopped. You know, other great players came up and it humbled him. You know, Roman Jelly got some sets in, and yeah, it was a great time. But Toma, I want to hear about your experience before I go through the trauma that was my bracket experience.
Oh God. Well, first, like I remember that specifically in that corner because we were talking. We talked to Black Pharaoh a little bit outside, and then I say we had a team there and everything like that. And apparently Black Pharaoh was trying to say hi to people from like my org that weren't there, or like old people from my org. But so we had this like weird game of telephone, and it ended up like Black Pharaoh yelling at us to like 2 tables away to say hi to someone else that was like another 2 tables away. So it was just like, what the hell? Guys, do that, like whatever. But that's how like close it was. But the highlight for me, because I was a spectator and I was like doing support for the team. So when we went there, we had our jerseys and everything, but you always saw like a swarm of us. And Maya, you saw us, like we were taking video, really trying to scout, trying to make sure that our players had support, like when we were there. So that was a fun experience in itself. But the highlight of the night was I got to meet up with one of the other NYC TEKKEN commentators that night on Saturday, and we were kind of just hanging out out in front, and we're like, oh, our buddy Foxhound is running the auction tourney. Cool, we'll go in there. And we were kind of walking in late, and we walked right in, and we see this like match kind of going. It's like, okay, I wonder what the money is. We're not seeing anything. All of a sudden, the match ends. And we see, and this is the first match of what this happened, 2 guys shirtless, like doing their full Punko like impression.
Yeah.
And both of us, I go to my friend, and we're both improv guys, so like we were already trying to figure out risks for our next shift. But we were talking, and I was just like, what is going on here? And he's like, no. It is not what is going on here. It's how did we get here? And then that when we try to go in, and we were just seeing everything. We were at the very back, so we couldn't see anything, but we saw our buddy Helst like literally taking money for like all these other matches going on. We see all like what's his face, like CBM, all of a sudden just gets peer pressured into taking money, and then he takes off his shirt. Rangchu just goes whoom, like takes it up, and then the sheer amount of like persuasion on Arslan Ash to do it, and then he finally does it. It was great. And then listening to what's his name, I don't remember the commentator that was with Just the Spirit, but
Kai Kennedy.
Yeah, Kai Kennedy. His comment, I was like, oh my god, this is that, because you couldn't hear that commentary there. That actually even made it like even much better to watch. But for me, that would have been like the highlight outside of the chaos that was Combo Breaker. As we were talking about, there's so many things to do. It is basically an ADHD person's dream / nightmare, because you are constantly going into different places. It's like, oh cool, casuals. Oh cool, artist alley. Oh, that looks really nice. Oh wait, now there's Street Fighter 2. Oh god,
I gotta go to here.
I gotta go here.
Wait,
Oh,
Virtual Fighter was over there.
Virtual Fighter was behind us during.
They're having a cosplay competition over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Virtual Fighter Top 8 was going on at the same time as Tekken 8 Finals. Like it was like going on right behind us. Oh no, I'm sorry, City of the Wolves Finals. So it was like you literally would like look at City of the Wolves, and then I'd stand up, turn around, and then look at Virtual Fighter. So like that's how crazy it was.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna roll into some of the clips, especially the one you talked about, Toma. But you know, let's talk, first let's talk about who won Street Fighter 6. We have a clip of that. Lashar winning Street Fighter 6. Went an incredible 9-set losers run to bring it all the way back in grand finals to win. I think that's to get a CPT 2025 spot.
Yeah, it was incredible. I absolutely was. It was in the waning hours of basically the consoles being turned off slowly. You know, they're going to come kick us off. And I wanted to get as many games as I could in with Akash, one of the legends in the Tekken scene. But I just had to stand up at this reset. It was crazy. Long-time veteran Itabashi Zangief absolutely controlling the space and making a very bully Ed afraid to approach. It was insane.
Yeah,
And
definitely
it was so
insane.
right here. Well, go ahead, Tom.
It's kind of
No, I was just gonna say it was like what I did love about it. It was that it wasn't someone from Japan, because being Combo Breaker being a CPT event for the first time in a long time, like we got to see a lot of the killers there. Like Takedo was there, Mena RD was there, you know, a lot of the different players were there, and it was someone from, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a big Tekken head and I think Korea is really like where all the arcades are and all the players are.
Yeah.
You know, like it was someone from Korea that won this event. And that's where I was just like, you know, I like that. And then seeing Knee and Lohai, Tekken, like from the DRX team, going up and congratulating him, like that gives me such great, like, good vibes. Oh my god! And this match was just insane.
Oh my goodness! But it's just, this set was just something else. Watching this live was definitely an experience.
Disgusting, disgraceful. This man switched from the perfect woman to Draga Baganov. I'm sorry.
Hey, chill. Hey, well, listen. Hey,
had to go back to old reliable, but it wasn't reliable enough. I mean, Mogold was doing insane. I thought Nee was, you know, he's gonna try to hat trick, you know, like come back after Evo Japan after winning that and coming into Combo Breaker, but Mogold with the new Claudio, the Spirit Gun, charge it up.
Yeah, Mogold got there. He got there because when he got to winners final, he was down to a final round and like maybe like 25% health left, where Nee only needed one more touch, and then he just came back and took it, and that's how he got into the grand finals, which was crazy. And then here, this is the one I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit. Notice that it's Goichi here that is in City of the Wolves final. They held up the Street Fighter 6 top 24 bracket because this guy had to go in. He was coming up from loser side in City of the Wolves, reset the bracket, and they were still waiting for him over at top 24 to get the top 8 Street Fighter 6. And on top of that, guess who is he was in loser side. Guess who he lost to in the Street Fighter bracket, top 8?
Oh, who?
Lashar.
I can't remember.
Lashar. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Damn.
So like he literally had to reset like within, I don't know, probably like what, 10-15 minutes, like winning City of the Wolves, and then all of a sudden you see him playing in the second stage on the left, finishing up top 24.
Yeah, I think not since the Justin Wong days of like the mid or late 2000s, like where we had to stop the Third Strike, the Marvel, and the CVS tournament because Justin was top 4 in all 3 of them. You know, it's very rare that you see those kind of those situations happen in this, where all your brain power is focused on one game.
Yeah,
so just beautiful to see that dominance.
Honorable mention: Itabashi was also actually in the VF top 8 as well.
Oh, dang. See? All right.
He was.
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of Bo Jacksons.
You know, like we do. We have a whole bunch of Bo Jacksons. All you young'uns, look that guy up. And Deion Sanders. Maybe that's a more relative reference, I guess. No, but they like Itabashi being in top 8 at VF as well was just crazy. So it was a fun time. That third day was just crazy. Second day at pools, like, which is the Saturday, which I call moving day. That in itself was also crazy. It was just a grand old time. You guys, if you didn't go, start saving up now. You will never regret it.
If you want games and vibes, go to CB.
Yeah, and like it's just it was such a vibe just watching this, and we're gonna roll the clip here of this is right before Arsenaz and Rangchu's set, and this is top 8 Tekken 8 loser side. You know, they're Arslan and Rangchu on loser side to begin.
I remember those.
Oh, the slide.
Like, no?
This is all mind games. This is how you win. Looks back. Yeah, I'm gonna slide back too. Yeah, I'm gonna slide back. I'm gonna slide back.
They don't want to
too.
look at each other's buttons. That's pretty much what it was.
Oh, you want this jelly? Oh,
Yeah.
you want this jelly?
I thought they were gonna fall off like at one point because I was like in the back behind the VIP section, and it was just like,
were
oh,
close.
how far back did they
Okay,
go?
so
They were so
can
close.
So let's explain this for the uninitiated. What's the importance of this? Because I have a few people who are close but off and feel like they don't know, and I have people that ask me straight up, "What is that? What does that mean?"
I feel like if you ask me what that means, it's definitely. I always think it's something just joking around, right? Players know each other. They met each other way too many times in the same brackets that they participate in, whether it's challenger, master, or sometimes even local. So from one side of the coin, you could definitely see it as like, oh, they're just humoring one another. But then you have the competitive aspect of it, which is like, okay, we know that we have players who literally cover their controllers so that way they can't see their inputs. Well, who, like you said, Maya, who's to say that Mogul didn't want Arslan to look at his controller and vice versa?
Yeah,
So
Raichu, like,
that's-
I love how Raichu just looks at Arslan, like, just gives him a little side eye, and Arslan's
We're
like,
doing the thing now.
okay,
We're doing
okay,
this.
We're doing the
okay,
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
sure, buddy, we'll play
like,
this
you
game
gotta
right
go
now.
band for band with me. Like, come on now.
To answer sharply, three contexts to it. Of course, yes, one, side-by-side gaming has been a conversation, especially in top 8 at a major. They don't believe, a lot of top-level players argue that, it's not just the whole someone's looking at my button, which would be point 2, but point 1, you play on your Tekken setup at home, and you look straight at your monitor, right? You have the right eye length, you have the right depth, you have the right angle, maybe you got it on the monitor arm. Well, if you're making me sit side by side, I'm on an unnatural angle, and that alone can screw up some of the best performers. So there's also that aspect, and there's also looking at someone's buttons, but there's also the perspective change of someone being in front of or behind you. Sometimes they could use peripheral vision and other parts of it more to have a competitive advantage. Also, there's the conversation of the longer distance wins, but that's a meta for another day. So there's a little bit of truth in that joking, because there's an infamous player, I'm sure if you go on Twitter and see the thread, who absolutely will scoot 6 feet behind you.
Yeah, there is. And to add to that too, it's also the cultures as well. So in Western arcades and American arcades, if you actually grew up with that, and I know there aren't that many around here, as I'm dating myself again, you played side by side, right? Like that's what you always did. When we played Street Fighter, when we played Tekken, when we're competing in Tekken 5, like we were standing side by side because that's how the cabinets were set up. Because you didn't bring a controller, you just played whatever the arcade gave you. Over in Japan, and that's what made those candy cabinets so popular. You got to sit down. That's one. Most of the time you're standing up in the West. And you had your own cabinet, kind of echoing what Maya was saying about when you're in your home console and everything. Even in the arcade, you had your own cabinet, and if I remember correctly, it would kind of randomize depending on who you be playing. It would pick someone else. It wouldn't necessarily pick someone next to you if they were all like sort of pseudo connected. I might be wrong on that. I felt like that was a thing, at least in Tekken 5, Tekken 6, but that's how it was back in those days. Like you had your own cabinet. So a lot of the noise that you're hearing that from, or at least from my perspective, is people from from Asia, or at least from the Japanese and Korean arcades that are used to it.
But yeah, go ahead, Toba.
No, I'm good.
I was just gonna.
I heard stuff too.
Right,
I was like,
Yeah,
what was that?
no. Sorry, we're playing. We're gonna play the video I was gonna mention, but yeah, like also in Pakistan, they had PS4 and PS5 setups, but they would build our arcade cabinets like around that. So I'm pretty sure that like there's a similar culture there as well. Especially players like Arslan. You see how like they develop their own style. Like his wrist is like vertical while he's pressing buttons, which I'm like, God damn, Arslan. Like
that was because they had MK layout buttons back in like Pakistan, and those like handouts, because it was like those old like 5 like diamond. It was like really
there's a barcade that has an MK2 like
like
arcade cab. I'm like, ooh, like thank God this was not like normalized throughout everything else. I would block is in the middle, so you left left punch and like right punch or left punch right or oh man,
it was high punch,
struggle.
low punch, high kick, low kick. But
Man,
like it was like in the 5 die. Like if you see the 5 on a dice, like that's what it was. That was the layout. But
here we go.
Spot Yui and Black Pharaoh right here. We talked about it earlier. See Gohana fly right there.
And that's Joe Crush.
Yeah,
Joe Crush
right there.
Speaking of, Joe Crush and Winner were out here at DreamCon, by the way. They were sitting there at Evil Padawan's house before they had to go to DreamCon and play in the Tekken 8 tourney over at DreamCon. So that was definitely
and like I say,
nuts.
we had to make the noise for him because suddenly he got quiet because he had to use all of his brain power to fight Joe Crush.
Yep. And you know, Pharaoh's always like this, by the way, right? Like when everything starts getting tense, he starts locking in and starts getting quiet. That's something I love about Pharaoh, man.
Yeah.
He's like
Black
this out
Pharaoh-
here at Houston too, bro.
Bro, when we were at Texas Showdown, we were at the Lazy Nerds dot shop. We still had a setup going after Street Fighter 6 Top 8. And he was fighting, Black Pharaoh was fighting my fellow BIA member Sneak, and Sneak he's not quiet but like he doesn't say a lot. But then Black Pharaoh does a move, and then Sneak says, "Oh, I know about that one." And then Black Pharaoh just lights up. He's like, "Oh, you know about this one? Oh, okay." And then starts doing it. You know about that one? You know about that one? And
That's
I was
exactly
just
what he'll
laughing.
do.
It was hilarious. And Yui right there, man. I wish I could see Yui. He just brings energy, like even when we're casting, but also when we're playing. And here's what Toma was talking about.
Oh my god, yes sir.
So
Yo,
like
buddy's
funny
friend.
story. So basically, Arslan Ash said, "Okay, I'll do it for $300 because they paid Art Orios, the guy that started it all, paid CBM 100." And all of a sudden, it just went crazy. People just started throwing money, and I ended up being that when House was there, and there's House with the DIY shirt. Like he was the tournament director for all of Tekken, and what ended up happening was he just like counted the money. He was not unsure. He's like, okay, he counted $300 and then gave the difference to Rangchu. But regardless, just like the whole peer pressure of doing this whole thing got Arslan Ash, who is the nicest person you'll ever meet and just like an all-around sweet guy. This was what started it all, though, when it came to that. Just gave him $100, and then all of a sudden it was just like, yep, like gamer bod, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait, can I just say for a second, shout outs to Blasphemous Black and it's just Morty in the background? Because first off, Black right there is just being the hype man, being the whole street gremlin, just hyping it up the whole way through, right? But then you gotta keep in mind, like in the previous clip where Arslan took off his shirt, I want you to keep in mind, you can hear this when you were watching the live stream. Morty in the background just yells out, "You ain't shit," just super duper loudly, and I started dying because I'm like, I know that loud voice almost anywhere. And the next thing you know, you see him running up behind Arslan and Rangchu, hyping it up so much. It was just like those two are just menaces on the screen.
These pictures, the Arslan Cash. I'll call him that if he wins, and he just won BAM, which we'll talk about. But Arslan Cash and Rang with you, those are some epic photos. I think Farah also posted like the 3 horsemen of Aura. There's and she included the picture with Nii holding the 4 up with the Evo Japan trophy. Like I think this year has been some of the best like Aura photos we've seen. But to talk about these Tekken players, we got TWT in full swing. We got Masters events. We got Challenger events coming up. Right now, I believe we have Head Stomper Top 8, which is another Challenger event.
We had BAM recently.
And BAM, which concluded yesterday. And we see Nii here. Evo Japan 2025 against Mogul in a grand final. Avoids the heat move with a jet upper. Sidestep jet upper. Man, we get to the wall, and at this point you hear. Yeah, there you go.
God, how did he block that? Put your 4s up. Me!
4s up.
Yeah, shoutouts Tasty Steve with the call, but yeah, having to make Mogul switch up to a very specific pick against it's very difficult, but Feng has got a 3 button that absolutely answers most things Brian wants to do that's slow and plays a great poke game out of his range. So great pick, but Nii was just ready and it was his time to shine. I think all of us kind of smile seeing the king kind of come back.
Yeah, I smiled definitely, and I also like peed my pants every time he does that like dash up in your face. As a Brian, you're just like, what is he gonna? Oh, he's just
Yeah.
waiting for you. But like,
Yeah.
we see King Ray Jr. here.
At Brussels Challenge
At
2025.
Brussels Challenge, right? Yeah, this was great. It was like 2 Americans in a Euro final.
Oh yeah, NA versus EU. It's NA all day.
Spag, take notes. Bully Oscar all day. Anna Perfection. King Ray, absolutely putting all the emotions.
And I want to point this out. Congrats to King Ray to being signed by Vitality. Like that is a big achievement for him. Now he gets to, I'm not sure. I'm assuming he did because he won this. He qualifies for EWC if he hadn't already.
Qualify for EWC.
So
Got a lot
like
of
now
TWT points
he's
as
going to
well.
do that, yeah, for TWT. So, and now we go back to grand finals here for Combo Breaker, and just this set alone was just crazy. Mulgold, as soon as he won that set against me, he was like unstoppable, and he showed it right here. He basically 3-0'd Atif here, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
3-0.
Made Atif switch and then 3-0'd him and just absolutely incredible fashion. He had so much confidence.
Showed the solution for Arslan Ash. Showed how to out-poke the master poker.
So hard. The pop off with me like made any TO would go crazy because his pop off like actually gave like a controller like like a disconnect, but it was basically done. He did a rage art and that's why he did it, but or not a rage art, a heat smash, but still it was crazy. And now we got the leaderboard. And only 20 points separates the two right now between Mulgold and Knee. But look at that. Look who's number 3 in the USA.
King Ray
Good old King Ray Jr. And Shadow 20C too. He's no slouch.
Yeah, we're in the top 5, top 4 right there. I mean, this is right before BAM, so I believe Arslan has moved up, but I believe the points are still under review. So this is before Battle for Melbourne, which happened yesterday. So it's still under review, but Arslan is at 10th, could be moving up as well after winning. So as you see right here, the set against Farzine, a grand finals reset. Farzine was so close to surviving, but Arslan gets the sweep.
It's not the easiest thing to do going up against Nina, especially when they're being played by Arslan, right? Because you gotta keep in mind, Nina is consistently in your face, giving you a reason to be scared, and always pressuring you. At least the way I view her, right? That's how I see her for most of the time.
I mean,
she's scary to deal with.
Yeah, the thing is that Farzine like was playing his Victor the whole time until at that point, at least in that top 8, and that's when it's like he reset it. So by like the 5th game of like where Arslan won, and you're picking a new character by that point, that means you really have no answer to your opponent. Similar to what happened to Reynald, but Reynald just gave up in the City of the Wolves thing over at Combo Breaker. Like he even looked back at the audience in the middle of the reset bracket, was because he was coming on winner side and Goichi was coming back. He looked at the audience and just put up his arms. That's basically what you say to me when I see you change a character like that late in the stage. You have no answer, and that if anything, not that you need to give Arslan more confidence, but that had to.
Yeah,
but, sure. I just wanted to say that too, because going up against someone like Reynald and City of the Wolves, I mean, the guy's been playing SNK games for a long time, probably before I was out of the womb. You know what I mean? The guy, the guy has been around for ages, and I've watched Reynald play games. I've seen him in KOF 13. I've seen him for a lot in 14. So him going to City of the Wolves and just getting reverse swept like that versus Goichi, he was not expecting that at all in his career. So when it happened, it was you know what? You got it. I'm gonna just play this. I'm gonna just play it out. That's all you could do.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it's just so much going on, and I think we're now in kind of new fighting game season, right? We got more, we just got more. But as well, I don't know if any of you guys were in the crowd. You probably were.
Oh yeah.
We the Harada and Michael Murray came up on the stage. We knew the Fahkumram gameplay trailer was coming, but we also had another reveal for the next character in the Season 2 pass, that being the Prime Consort Armor King, Promise Consort Armor King, which a lot of people were really hyped for. But
That's
we're
an
gonna look at the
understatement.
Fahkumram trailer real quick because you know we had a few people. You know, not a lot of people like this character because of the trauma of launch Fahkumram.
I mean,
Trauma.
to be fair, there's also trauma of like launch Leroy, I think, which was
I
arguably
feel like
worse.
I mean, he was
even
just as bad.
worse.
He was just as bad.
I think he
as
was
launch Leroy.
arguably worse, but that's
Arslan
personally-
agrees with you.
Yeah, that's my opinion. But like, I'll be honest though, like maybe it was different on your side of the crowd, but I was just behind the VIP section, like where they had those couches, when we were sitting there. It was like, it was more cheering, but there were people like also complaining under their breath about like every single move that they were seeing with Fahkumram. So I could say maybe the majority consensus, like if we're gonna say percentages, like 65-35, like probably like kind of like this new character. But there are people that were complaining. It's like, oh my god, this looks overpowered. Wait, he has a crouch mix up too, like whatever. So I personally I'm not a competitor, so I like a new character. It's great that it's a Muay Thai boxer. Like I'm whatever the lore is with like people wanting Bruce and not wanting Bruce, whatever, at least you have a Muay Thai character. If it's this guy, then it's fine. Like I personally enjoy it.
I like it too.
Yeah, I like it
I'm
too.
excited to see what he does to the game 100% because
he looks
he's
very
a
fun to play.
Man, I wish they would
I love the soundtrack.
go through the like some of his concept designs, maybe like pull a design for his remake in remodel in T8. But I mean, this is simple. Like I like his design still. Like his trunks are a little bit more stylized. He's got the little tassels on his arms, and he has the crown. Blue sparks. Oh, I can't wait to hit those.
I'll definitely say this. I listened to Stigma 1 and 2 in the Tekken 7 Volume 2 soundtrack. That's what you're hearing right now. Dude, I listened to that on repeat. It's such a hype track. Like I love that.
It is pretty hype.
I love those tracks.
We can
I don't
install,
know what it is.
but he looks so cool. So I'm thinking, you get more mix-ups, right? It's kind of like Brian's little Snake Eyes thing, which I'm assuming that's how it's gonna work. That move is sick. My theory is this is a Tekken lore theory. Fak is you know how electricity and like lightning, that's like a Mishima thing. I think this might be one of Heihachi's illegitimate children, like Lars.
All right, we're gonna
Because
we're gonna
he
push it
has
right
he has a interaction with Kazuya. Kazuya doesn't respect people at all. He just said, "Why do you hang out with those weaklings?" He knows Fak is strong. He knows it. So I think this version of Fak lends more credence to my theory, but I mean I could be wrong. This one. I hope this is guaranteed. This is all guaranteed. I want to do that in game. If I hit that in game, I'm winning the set.
Someone behind me was yelling at that. It was just like, no, that can't be real. I was like, just enjoy the thing. It's like that. It's too late. But by the time that happened, I get to see this rage art. This was a sick rage art. I gotta say, this was really awesome.
I really wish the starting hit was just a strong like mid kick, honestly speaking, instead of the elbow. I ain't gonna lie.
Take that hatchet kick out.
Oh, but this ending pose,
Yeah.
he's just posed on you like Akuma. Wait for me in hell. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's raw. That is raw.
Beat his ass
and
and then
cold as hell.
And it's about to turn in Combo Breaker stage, where like the auditorium or the stadium seating almost turned into a mosh pit in about, I don't know, like 15 seconds
Yeah.
or like 20 seconds.
We didn't get to
because
see this on stage. They didn't reveal the costume.
Yeah, they didn't reveal this on stage. It was literally everybody was kind of sitting down, just like kind of cheering, and then all of a sudden it went fade to black, and we'll see it in a second. And then you can just imagine when it happened, when it turned into basically a huge mosh pit of like 1,000 people. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Bro,
This
like,
was so
okay,
nice
Craze
to
and
see.
Stars are denying my theory, but I'll say it after this. But Armor King, I love the carbon. You see that carbon fiber on like his ab plate, like his.
It looks
oh,
so
it's so sick. I
cool.
can't believe they made his design better. I thought you couldn't get better than the T7 remodel, but it just got better. He has the gold chains like connected to his like chest piece that hits his arm. That design is so sick. It's so sick.
It's so sick.
I am so prepared and unprepared, and I'm gonna be prepared as soon as Armor King drops, because I didn't know the lore until I checked in with my local scene. But apparently, 4 out of the 5 best players in our Boston scene were Armor King mains in 7. So one of them was sitting right next to me as we went in, and he started crying. He broke down into tears because, just like I broke down into tears, my main is finally in the game, and we have a scene ready to thrive and be a little bastard.
Yeah, look at Landon excited for Fahkumram. Landon D ripping his shirt.
Yeah, it just seems like we're serving, and unfortunately that brings us to the somber realization, because season 2, there's no more returning characters. I believe we're getting new character.
We're getting a new character.
Guest character, unless I'm mistaken.
His hands are like on fire now.
I think it might be just an original
Right?
new character.
It gave him an
Like,
Yeah, it's an original new character.
His hands
Is
are
it?
on fire
But I
now,
thought
like
they said there's
Jack.
2 characters left on the reveal.
No, since Armor King is coming, then it's only 1 character left, and that character is
gonna
going
be
to be
totally
an original.
new.
Yeah.
Lady
that's what
DJ
you were saying.
Punko. Fine. Yeah, that cheering
that.
was real. Like, that's how like nuts it was. Everybody was standing. If you got a shot of it, actually, I might have a video of that, to be honest with you. But everyone. Was standing. Steve literally
Majid Obama, Markman.
breaking Markman's like shoulder there. Markman's going crazy because he's a Jin and an Armor King main. So he's happy. That's why he's doing that. I don't know why I was cheering. I have like nightmares of Armor King, but I guess I was just like going with the mob. But because I'm a Julia main, so like Armor King is not really the best matchup. Like I remember in 7, but still, like it was just nice to see a whole crowd being, I don't want to say mad, but like that was the vibe of Tekken 8.
The crowd goes mild for Fox.
The crowd goes
got
mild,
the-
and then all of a
Armor
sudden
King,
that
as soon as you see the
happened.
boots.
All of a sudden that
Right.
happened. I haven't heard anything negative too much about season 2 since that point.
No, the negativity has kind of died down. I think the negativity.
The conversation is people who were hurt and then haven't kept up since, because you look at the past few patch notes and also patch on Tuesday, all we're going to see is release notes with a bunch of arrows. And I know I joked about it before, but I've never seen so many down arrows in a patch notes. I've been so happy in my life.
Yeah.
But on my side of
those arrows
things,
went down.
like I said, 2 people in our Boston scene crying in my arms, sobbing, so happy they get their main back. I step outside because I get a phone call, and nobody can hear anything in that expo area right now. Everyone's making noise. So I take a step out into the hall, walk out into the reg area, and I see Big Dame and King Ray Jr. They also are just watching the end of that trailer, and I walk up to them, and I say, King Ray, how do you feel about Armor King? And he goes, you don't understand. This is all I've been waiting for. I'm finally going to be good at this game. I'm like, excuse me? He's like, it's so over. I have a character that covers Asuka's weaknesses, and I get a fun character. It's so over. Y'all don't even know what's about to happen. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Big
Okay,
words.
So KRJ
words.
has some in the tuck. Once AK comes out, he says, I'm ready. And, of course, that's going to be later on this year. So probably right before TWT. So
I would assume October. I would assume October,
somewhere around there, because Fok is coming in early July. So,
Yeah, July 10th, I believe, is the date they said.
Oh, okay.
So July 10th, global release for everyone. And it's gonna be really cool. I'm super curious about this new original character. I wonder where they're gonna hail from, what type of style they're gonna use. Some people theorize it might be like a Marduk successor, which I don't know if I want that. I don't want anything close to Marduk.
I don't think anyone
Oh,
wants that
I'm
one.
toxic. I want Marduk. Like I just
No.
I want to play. I want to play
Off the
smooth
show.
break,
I don't-
ultimate tackle.
Get out of here.
I will loathe it. I will ruin
Go
it. But
away.
there are so many T girls in my community. There are so many great players, and there are so many Valley Tudo and martial art UFC bro friends that I have. They all mingle together into one perfect cone-headed idiot, and that is fine. Y'all deserve your character just as much as me. I'm just gonna hate it the entire time.
Bring it it on. Bring on the hate. It's fine. I don't care.
I don't, you know, people make jokes this character's toxic. I can hate playing a character, but I don't think I hate any single character. I'm happy if you get your main.
Yeah.
Gotta be
Oh,
happy.
but sorry, what you brought up is what I was really more interested in the conjecture of, which is, I know we've heard jokes in the lore in the beginning of the year and with what Harada tweeted, but with a new character, hopefully, I hope it's truly a new character, not like a referenced or a character mentioned a few times in the story. I hope it's a truly new character just because they can be free to design in whatever way they want.
Yeah.
But
Like-
I want that character to be an older woman. I don't care what she does, but I think there's been a lot of tweets and asking about it. There's no one who's above the age of 25, Fang and Dragonoff. I don't know how you could ever say you're 25 years old, but I need to have an older woman, and I need to have an older character, not Victor.
You mean Michelle's sister or something like that?
How about
Like,
just Michelle? Let Michelle get the June
Oh
aging,
yeah,
you know?
Michelle could come back.
That's fine.
Maybe
Just
that's
give her-
season 3.
Yeah.
But Michelle's an existing character, so
I
Yeah,
know.
so-
Oh, no, that's why I said Michelle's sister. It's like that's the one that
Yeah,
I'm
like
hoping that-
something. But I really hope it's like like an actual like fully original. Maybe takes in a country or a continent Tekken has not explored yet, like Africa. That would be really sick. I would love to see that. And you know what type of fighting style that could be. I just love the lore. You know, this is why I love Tekken. Even though you know Stars and crazy clowning me in the chat talking about why Fahkumram could just be a family friend. You guys don't understand how important it is that a character has lightning abilities. No one else has that. Only Mishimas in the bloodline have the electric sparks. That's why Lars is flipping around. So I understand Fahkumram got struck by lightning, according to his lore, but I think the fact that he has lightning in his ability, especially in his install, I think that's we could. But it's thunder, not lightning. They still have it's Thunder God Fist. Thunder God Fist. That is War God Kick or whatever. Thunder God Kick.
So,
like
wait.
that's part of.
You're telling me
Mishimas.
that Clive is a Mishima then?
Does he
Because
have
he's
an
got
electric?
he has an electric. He pulls it out, but he's got electric.
But that's a weapon. He has a weapon to summon.
The man summons lightning.
He summons lightning, but it's not inherently in him. Like Fak or Jin or Lars. Like they just do something that's like electric sparks. Right?
Listen,
Thunder and
Listen.
Thunder, Wind and Lightning are in
DJ.
moves like Mishima Thunder God Fist
DJ.
or
Well,
like Fujin or Bushin. Like this.
Speaking
what
of
I'm saying?
people who all can have lightning, we can move over to Strive because I can tell you Kai's got electrics, and I can tell you half of the cast has electrics. It's
DJ,
just
look,
normal. Are they
it's okay,
Mishimas as
man.
well?
No,
DJ,
it's
look,
you guys don't
no.
understand. You guys are
No,
not.
You
no,
don't
we
understand.
do.
Oh,
No,
you guys
put it
don't
down.
You're
understand.
comic.
Stop
You
it.
are literally
No.
comic book guy nerding us right now.
Yeah.
You
Well,
are
you guys
not getting away with this.
actually no, but I'm being for real because if Harada
Did
says
he
I'm right,
actually?
you guys are all eating crow. I'm gonna rub it in your face. Well, I'll be that guy. I'll be like, I told you so. I told you so.
DJ,
But anyway,
we are
man,
going to
we
put you to
could go to Guilty Gear Strive. New character, Unika.
Unika.
Yeah, she's really cool. I love her design. We actually, we saw Danielle Maza in our GGST bracket. But all the Unikas that were picked in the bracket, Unika went 1-8 in all matches that she was picked in for a bracket. So, even though Danielle Maza was pretty successful, getting to grand finals, it was still, anyone else who picked Unika did not have a good time.
I
This
mean,
team is actually pretty cool. What the hell?
yeah, no, but from saying, and like I said, I like her design. It's just almost like she has no. I'm not the biggest Guilty Gear sweat, but I will say it's like you can see that she has almost every tool available. Now it will take time to see what her weaknesses are, but right now it's just like she can rush in and zone at the same time with a lot of these the anti-zoning, or I should say, like the anti-air tools and everything to keep people out, and like these great keep-out tools. So I'm like just amazed that someone like Danny already has mastered her to a point where to getting to a grand final. because again, it was only day 2, but I think this character is just sick. Like, this is kind of wanting me to play Guilty Gear again a little bit to sort of, kind of get back into the game, because I kind of stopped in December. I don't know. I kind of just lost interest in it. So this is one of those that actually is bringing me back.
Yeah. She just looks really cool, and also she was, revealed as a character in the Guilty Gear anime series, the Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers. I believe she appeared right in episode 2. She's a key character in that.
Medusa, I do agree with you though. I wish it was Jam, but obviously we already knew that. But I agree with you. Jam would have probably been a better choice. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Jam is literally my only remaining old Guilty Gear main that hasn't been added to the game.
I think it's like everybody's like old Guilty Gear mains. Man. Like seriously, Jam is like was supposed to be kind of it. But I guess Giovanna was supposed to be the spiritual replacement if there was one, but I don't.
There wasn't a spiritual replacement.
Yeah, but
Jam,
like that
honestly.
She's the closest ish, but like that's not. It's not really that close once you play them. If you remember Jam from like Exurd.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't say Gio's that close. I don't see it, only because Jam's got that. It's just a specific Jam style that you just cannot replicate. Especially because Giovanna also doesn't have stocks, so it's like that's not Jam.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. She looks cool. I might dip back into Strive. I don't know. I kind of want to get my 2D legs under me. Had a little bit, been playing a little bit of other 2D fighters. I feel like I'm just like, not a full fighting game player yet. Without trying a 2D or playing a 2D that I really enjoy. Strive was really fun. I mean, when I was playing it, or this was before I started learning Tekken, so I didn't know like how to do anything. I was playing Chip, so I mean, you guys could
good old
connect some dots.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing Guilty Gear on console, not knowing what the heck I was doing. But when Slash came out, I was so committed to learning how to play it right. And I think that I'm not going to be a Guilty Gear player, but my only rule for myself is I always have to have a competent testament. And I think that's enough to keep me satisfied in Strive. But then I realize I can have a competent testament, but I don't know what the heck everyone else is doing to me on screen, so I can't block.
No,
you're
not paying the $70 to block in that game, or $60. Like,
No.
There is no block. But I mean, for me, I just always loved the game. I've always liked biking. I'm a degenerate, yes, and yes, I'm a degenerate. But those were just like my 2 favorite characters in like different play styles, like a Rushdown and a Zone, like kind of a Zony type of a character. And I just liked those were just kind of great characters that I've kind of grew up going since I can't remember if it was like Accent Core. Like I can't remember. Like there's so many different ones. Like how many games go on? You can probably.
Did you
tell
mean
me.
Accent Core R, Accent Core R Plus?
That's what I was like. When I said Accent Core, I was like, which one? Like,
3 different versions
Yeah.
of the same goddamn game. Yeah, I love that.
And it's funny, I grew up playing only Bridget and Bridget and Testament, and now that I've aged and matured, my taste like fine wine, I actually just started playing Bikin and Jam, so that's funny for me. Now I'm suffering.
As someone, as Guilty Gear Exotic player, Crocs and Socks, I think, Crocs and Socks, because he was the reason I remember getting into Exard. He was like, we were at Frosty's, we sat down, we just talked about the games, like, yeah, this game's cool, you should play it. Next thing I know, I'm sitting here in Houston, Texas at my local playing Exard online and offline. And I'm sitting here being the most dumbest Leo main known to mankind, but only because I just saw long hair, cool swords, and I honestly have fun time trying to interact and get in until you put Johnny on my screen. Then I can't play the game no more.
Oh, man. So cool.
was-
I wish I got into fighting games sooner. I feel like my trajectory in life would be a little bit different.
There are so many people that have been in fighting games for a long time.
You
Like,
could have played Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
you could be as young as Justin Wong back in the day and be in fighting games. Or Noah the Prodigy actually probably took that crown because I still remember when Justin Wong was a teenager going to the Chinatown Fair and like literally being top dog in anything that said Marvel or Capcom on it. He was the top dog in those games, and he was like 13, 14 years old. And then you have Noah the Prodigy. Like, you can get into it as early as you want. Like, and it's always been a great time. I just wish there was more of an arcade type of thing, so people gather. But that's where the locals actually kind of come in and sort of fill that space.
Shout out to my local. I didn't even know we did local a monthly in Louisiana. Shout out to Little Wars. Here in Baton Rouge, my hometown, like literally 10, 15 minutes away from where I live, and I never knew. They've been doing it for years. Also, shout out to Dibs out in Metairie, closer to New Orleans. They do their parties out there. Also, Sparrogen went to Dibs to play during Super Bowl weekend when Super Bowl was in New Orleans as well. So shout out to him. Who played in our weekly bracket this week. So shout out to Sparrogen. Really cool dude.
Yeah.
Really cool dude. But yeah,
Long Island Long Island had Spiro.
Yeah. He's still on that PlayStation 1 controller.
Oh yeah, he is. He's still on that PlayStation 1 controller from like 1994, and he has to use an adapter I think he has to use 3 adapters. Like he has to use like an adapter into an adapter into the like actual Brook Wingman for it to work.
What the?
Yeah, because it's using the old analog PlayStation 1 controller, which you have to make into a USB port, which then that USB port goes into the Brookman, the Brook Wingman thing that goes into the PS5.
That's a lot of adapting. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm saying.
3 different ways. Like, Jesus.
You just like look at it. It looks like a fire hazard as he's putting it into the PlayStation 5.
One wrong move, the whole PS4 is in flames. The whole PS5 is going to be blowing through the ceiling of any roof that you're in. I don't know, but that's a lot of adapters, man.
Yeah.
That's the point that I'm trying to get at.
Just having a like adapter to converter to, you gotta, hey man, can you plug this in? Wait, no, plug this in first and then plug it in. But man, I'm just loving where fighting games are going. We had a little dip in, we have our ups and downs in the FGC, but it's a beautiful community, and I hope we can watch it grow, especially here at Breakout. We've been seeing some steady growth, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying the show. But we gotta close out. But first and foremost, we gotta tell about the people about you guys. So Maya, where can they find you?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Thank y'all for being here Sunday, and thank y'all for checking the VOD. I am Maya, or Mayasma FGC. We just ran our second dojo event. It was a blast watching Vic Timo come out and be famous, ultimately winning the tournament. But I will be streaming basically a lot more and practicing because CEO is the focus for me. The Anna is not quite ready, but the June is there. I hope to see y'all soon. I hope to get games in, and I hope to catch you on our next Breakout Academy.
Oh, hell yeah. Also, a lot of the Louisiana peeps are going, so, and also 84 Days Without, he's going to CEO, so if you see him, say hello to Tim for me, or I'll tell him to say hello to you. You can get some games in with him.
Yes, I would love that
as well.
Also, I heard Dapper made the last minute emergency fund, so we're gonna have a goat come out finally.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Kumo, where can they find you, my friend?
Man, I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet like Maya did, but honestly, after a resounding and nice, peaceful 25th birthday weekend, I am finally trying to get my brain out of vacay mode. Gonna be back onto the grind in just with the likes of Breakout here, of course. I just did commentary yesterday for Extreme Fighter Showdown over there. I could have went to DreamCon and commentated with Tasty Steve, but I didn't respond to anything, so I'm a little bit upset about that.
Shout out to Lucy, though. Lucy got to do it.
Lucy, that's my spirit animal. Lucy will do my job for me. If I can't
vicariously through Lucy for a few minutes, man.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys need somewhere to find me, hit me up on Twitter in the DM to, any sort of like info you want to give out or anything. Kuomoko _ is where you'll be finding me. I try to keep it to 1 to 2 dumb tweets a day, and I don't look at the app no more because I'm tired of looking at it.
Yeah, no, that's real. And of course, last but not least, Toma, Doc, where can the people find you, my friend?
I'll try to keep it short and sweet, but I do yap a lot. So you can find me over at T0MAD0C, either on Twitter or Blue Sky. That's where I usually am. I usually just post for events and my org stuff and breakout stuff. So, you know, usually if you want to get my personality, you actually just have to talk to me because I'm that old school.
Literally.
Yeah, like that's just how it is. But I enjoy working with you guys with the breakout stuff. So I want to say thank you for having me on this, and look forward to either the next podcast or even the next. What I do here is City of the Wolves and Tekken 8. So yeah, look forward to doing those next time.
People don't realize you gotta talk in order to get the actual like enjoyment out of a person. Sometimes I hate that.
Like,
the
we
same
just,
way.
you know, we're professional yappers. We just yap. We just yap.
Yes.
At Breakout. We just yap. But we thank you guys so much for watching. You can find me, DJSymphix, at DJSymphix on Twitter. I try to tweet. I try not to doom too much. Retweet most breakout stuff and also post some of my streams, my stream highlights. I've been streaming over on twitch.tv/DJSymphix. No cam, just PNG, my little goober guy, you know, in the corner. But you guys can find me. Hopefully, I'll be at another event soon. So if you see me in person, don't be afraid to say hello. But we want to thank you guys who are watching and viewing this. Thank you for joining us here at Link Up. I've been DJ alongside Maya, Kumo, Toma Doc, and we'll return some other time to bring you some more FGC stuff, FGC content. Happy Pride. We love you. Stay safe. And Fahkumram is a Mishima. I gotta say it.
Shut up! Shut up! Stop talking!
Fahkumram,
No, you're done.
No one.
No, he's not.
No
He's
one
terrible.
cares.
No one cares.
Get the
No.
Benadryl. Someone put him to sleep.
No
We're
one
getting a Kane
cares.
sponsorship once we get a regional
All right,
out
yeah,
here for Breakout.
Cut it.
Just-
Cut it. Cut it. Cut it.
We are Breakout, and we don't speak on behalf of DJ Symphix's bad fast
Whoa,
food
what?
takes.
My lawyer has advised me not to speak on his takes.